Hi, guys, and welcome to another wonderful edition of The Big Shift. I've got an amazing person today. He's a top senior celebrity lawyer in many fields. He works with many celebrities, world champion boxers, and at the very height of business. He's a dear friend and a fascinating guy. I can't wait to introduce him to you. It's with great pleasure that I have Mahtab Aziz on the show. Hi, Mahtab. How are you?
Hi, Steve. Hi, Steve. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure, Mahtab. I will say to the viewers out there, we are dear friends, and you have helped me, and do both in my personal journey and continuously in my business journey. We've worked with many stars. We've tried to put together a lot of stuff. Personally, I can personally endorse this. People like Riddick Bowe, Herbie Hyde, the Ali family over in the States we're doing work with and trying to get work together. But we'll come back to that. We're going to talk about Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, just to name a few. We'll come back to that after.
Sure.
But look, I want to bring it back to you and tell us a little bit about yourself, Mahtab.
Right, sure. Well, I'm a solicitor, as you know, a glutton for punishment these days, but persevering. And I sort of entered the law, basically wanting to help people. And all in all, I think it's been a great journey. I think I really enjoyed my career.
You cover many specialist areas of law. It's quite diverse, your specialism. You're very senior. You've done work for me on litigation and stuff like that, contractual stuff as well, media law, even some personal stuff, right? I know you're very, very specialist in many areas, but you also look after a lot of celebrities. Give us some names and some of the people who you currently work with and have worked with, some of the names that people may know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, probably one of the biggest names I've sort of done work for would be Imran Khan, who was formerly a Test cricketer. He's regarded as the best top 10 all-rounder in history by cricketing experts. And currently, he's the Prime Minister of Pakistan. I've done quite a few number of cases for him. Mostly to do with the media, dealing with the media, defamation type of cases, and I've done quite well with all of them. So that's the work I've done, with Imran Khan. And I also did some work for Wasim Akram, who is regarded as the best, if not the best, fast bowler in cricketing history. He has been regarded as such by Brian Lara, who of course, also regarded one of the best batsmen, and many other cricketing professionals. And also, that was a media case. And I've acted for many, like singers and politicians and sports people. So I'm doing some work with Amir Khan at the moment. Amir Khan, the very well-known boxer. He was two-time world champion, and apart from that, it's all been really on recommendation. I mean, I've been sort of recommended to a lot of people. I've done some work with Danny Lambo, who's a media celebrity as well. A number of other people, but I don't sort of. You probably won't hear about me in the media, but I try to keep things. I just get on with my work, I just produce results, and that's it.
Oh, I can personally testify. You are the iron hand hidden. I mean, you certainly have been for me. And look, I personally know. There's so many more names. Herbie Hyde. We can go on. Specifically in sports and boxing. And at the height of business and media. But look, I wanted to ask you, there's loads of stuff in the, in the press, and you certainly watch me and what they write about me, right? And I'm very, very happy to have you, really. But not a lot of people know actually what this celebrity press dynamic is when
Yeah.
it gets really, really messy.
Yes.
What would you tell them, a simple version about how this actually works behind the scenes?
Sure. Well, there's two types of defamation. There's libel and there's slander. Libel is when something is published and you can reproduce it. Slander is something when someone says something in front of other people. And since 2013, when that was the last sort of major change in the law, you've got to be able to demonstrate that there has been serious harm to your reputation. So it can't just be that you don't like what's being written. You have to be able to show that it's caused serious harm to your reputation and to you financially. So that's sort of streamlined the area a bit. We're a bit different over here as compared to the USA. In the USA, it's much harder to actually win a defamation case, and that's why in America most recently there was a case of Elon Musk had a case with
Elon Musk,
one of the guys who went down to Thailand, and he won that. Whereas perhaps if that was the same scenario over here, he might not have won it. So it all depends on where you are. And also, of course, Johnny Depp recently had a very famous case, but that was over here, and he lost that. So it depends. It depends on the scenario. Each case is different.
I know I've certainly had this experience to the point that we even really check and we get notified if any of our stuff is published or republished or regurgitated, because what happens now a lot is a lot of these mainstream media, earned media channels or publications is they'll print it, but then they'll sell it on, as you're saying, to be secondary, third, fourth kind of news people. And then what kind of happens, our experience is they change the whole semantics of the piece and they're really pushing it now. So now they start to print things, of course, which was never said on an interview, which was never agreed, and they make it out. What do you say about this? Because there's a lot going on at the moment, and I'm sure people are really interested about freedom of speech, Mahtab. I certainly am. What do you say about that?
Well, this is the point that I raised earlier, in that in America, freedom of speech takes precedence more so than any criticism that a person may have to face. Whereas over here, we perhaps protect the individual a bit more and try and protect them from that. As you may have heard just recently, President Trump has been banned from Twitter. Some say that went a bit too far, and some say that it was good that they done that because he's been accused of all sorts of things by the Democrats in terms of what happened in Capitol Hill, and so it's a balance of what you want to achieve and what's actually the resultant damage to the person.
Absolutely, and you know what? Me certainly, just as a normal person, like everyone else out there, we've been watching the current events. The way the trajectory of the world is going, specifically to do with freedom of speech. The lockdown, the vaccine, all of this stuff. So this stuff is it's absolutely key and fundamental, not just to our lifestyles and our freedoms and the freedoms that we have in everyday life, but actually where we're going, and the next generations, our children and our children's children, right?
Yeah.
So these policies are being shaped all the time. It's certainly concerning, right? Is what I'd say. And look, thanks for that insight on that, because we'd certainly get you back, because I can see a lot more going to happen as we go forward with the current situation. I'm sure people would love to have you back to maybe come from different angles on this to get your view about stuff like that.
Yeah, pleasure. Yeah, thank you.
You are, this is through Imran Khan as well, is you're actually you're very central in putting together the WBC in the Middle East.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's for Amir Khan. Amir Khan.
Amir Khan.
Amir Khan. The boxer,
really sorry, but I remember you told me about that.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, Amir Khan. Because you see, Yeah, it was all actually in the news. The president of the WBC has appointed Amir Khan as the president of WBC in the Middle East, and we're hoping to promote boxing in that region because we feel it's been sort of neglected a bit. And hopefully, with Amir, who's a very dynamic guy, he's very good, really focused, and I'm sure he'll promote and encourage boxing in the region to such an extent that it'll be hopefully a lot more popular with the people there.
I think so, and it's interesting. I mean, we've certainly done some work. I'll just come to that quick. We've done some work, didn't we, with Herbie Hyde? The last meeting we had was with Herbie Hyde, all of us, in Rio. We've done some work also with Riddick Bowe, in the States. We're still doing some work with Riddick.
Yes.
So there was a lot of stuff because the world is changing, Mahtab.
Yes.
The fact is, it's not going to be how it was before.
Mm-hmm.
So even with the creation over there of the WBC, I mean, I know there's a wealth of investment over there, and I know they're integrating, as the rest of the world are, a lot of streaming kind of platforms. They're doing things different. I mean, we was involved in trying to put some events up of this nature, wasn't we?
Yes.
To make them safe to a wider audience. So I get that. I really get that. And what's going to happen with that then over there, the WBC?
Well, hopefully, what will happen is, hopefully, well, as you know, there's COVID-19. Unfortunately, has put the sort of brakes on a lot of things. But hopefully, eventually, the aim is that there should be a regional title. Like as there's so many weight divisions in boxing. From flyweight, strawweight, all the way up to super heavyweight. There is super heavyweight in the amateurs, and of course the aim is to have a regional title. And so there'll be a lot of competitions and a lot of interest, and there'll be TV coverage and all that, and that's the aim. And I think hopefully it'll go very, very well. I mean, as you know, I've spoken to Muhammad Ali Jr.
Yes.
And we're hoping to get some sort of tour organized for him. Muhammad Ali obviously is still a very, very big name in the sport of boxing. In fact, just recently, he was voted at the end of 2020. Muhammad Ali was voted the best athlete of all time.
Look, I think it's very warranted. I mean, we've talked what an unbelievable human being, and all his journey. I would certainly go with that. We are going to have some other members of the Ali family on the platform. I can say as well, but I'm not going to say anything more about that.
Sure.
And absolutely, Mahtab, what you're saying is, you're talking to Muhammad Ali Jr.
Yes.
I know that, and. Yeah, you're looking at doing a tour in the States there, aren't you? That's very exciting. That's very exciting. Another thing I suppose we should cover now while we're here, because I have to say, I know that you're very linked and a great exponent of the sport, boxing.
Right.
I know you even still train till today, and you're very I mean, as to be said, but you've met all the champions, I mean... You've met Holyfield. You've met many. Tell us a story about Holyfield when you met him, because I know you was close to Evander Holyfield.
Yes, that's right. Evander Holyfield, obviously, a great champion, and in fact, Evander was actually, when they asked other boxers who was the toughest opponent you faced, and Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe, and Mike Tyson all said that this guy, Evander Holyfield, was, the toughest guy that they'd faced, and, very smart in his boxing. So there you can see that, he is held in very high esteem by his contemporaries, which is, a very good thing. I had actually had an opportunity to meet him when he was over here, and in fact, I went down there I was with Herbie Hyde, in fact, and he was in this like a private room. And in private sort of area, and he had these sort of big, sort of 7 foot, bodyguards there, and all sort of, in front of him, and And I thought, let me just, get his autograph on one of the specialist book I had, on boxing. So it'd be good to have, Evander's sign on there. So I thought, just let me go up and ask him. And as I was going up, one of his bodyguards said, "Excuse me, sir, we don't allow, Mr. Holyfield doesn't allow autographs."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay, all right, oh, sorry, man, okay." And then I saw out of the corner of my eye that Evander had seen the bodyguard, stop me from coming to him. So he said to the bodyguard, he said, hold on. He said, "Bring that guy here," he said. So I went up to him and I said, "Look, Evander, I think you're a great champion, and you'll be really pleased if you could just give me an autograph." So he gave me an autograph on my book, and he said, "No problem." He said, "There you go." And afterwards, Herbie said to me, he said, "Matt, how do you do that?" He said, "Evander Holyfield never ever gives autographs to anyone. Even other boxers ask him, heavyweight boxers ask him, and he doesn't do it." He says, "How do you do it?" I said, "I don't know. I just asked him and he gave it." So that just shows, he's a great guy.
And of course, this is getting through the 10-foot high bill, like, you know what? Right, okay.
Yeah.
So you have a radio show. You have wonderful guests on there. And I can remember the last time I was on there, the guest before me you had was Mike Tyson's manager.
Oh, yes. That's Steve Lott. Steve
Lott was on there, right? Fascinating conversation about the young Mike and and all that stuff.
In fact, if Steve Lott, if you look back at Mike Tyson's the first few fights he had, Steve Lott was the young handsome guy. Actually, he was holding the belt up, and he looks a bit like I don't know if you remember the old TV Hulk series when he used to turn into the Hulk. The guy who was the normal person, he looks a bit like him. And he used to come before, he used to come raising the belt with Mike Tyson in a lot of his earlier fights. He's there. He's there in the Trevor Berbick fight. And he, in fact, a fascinating guy. His knowledge is incredible about boxing. And he's a great guy, Steve Lott. And he explained to me how in the early days, how he had to keep an eye on Mike. And he had to keep an eye on Mike and prevent him from getting into the wrong company and all that. And I regularly talk with Steve, and he's a very nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to that conversation. It was absolutely fascinating. And, one of the things, I mean, there was many takeaways from it, but one of the things was people to understand just how much money was invested in the young Mike.
Oh, yeah.
With Gus D'Amato.
Yeah.
And it was a young guy they took from the streets.
Yes.
Really turn him into the guy he was to become. Such a devastating, they talked about it was a lot of money was put in there.
Oh, yes.
And all the time that was put in to the young Mike, right?
It was a team of people you had around him at that time. Mr. Caton and Mr. Jacobs, they were the sort of brains behind the investment. Rather like when Muhammad Ali had this Louisville group of businessmen sort of promoting him. So similarly, Mike had these guys who were investing in him, and initially it all went very well. But then, of course, unfortunately, Gus D'Amato passed away, and that was a big influence on Mike's life. Had finished, and but he still went on to win the world title. And I'm sure everyone remembers how he knocked out Trevor Berbick. That sort of boxing match is like it's an iconic sort of boxing match. He was the youngest heavyweight champion at that time. So that's rather similar to when Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston, and he said, "I shook up the world." So Mike Tyson shook up the world by becoming the youngest heavyweight champion.
They're real icons. Yeah. They're real icons, and they'll remain these timeless icons of history. I have no doubt about that. For me, it also shows that how greatness and great people are formed.
Yes. Through
hard work and support and input from people who see stuff and are there for the long haul. No one is. You may be born with innate talent, but I mean, I know talent is just not enough. It takes so much more. In the people. I know that we're certainly talking. Riddick Bowe is a friend of mine, has been for a while, and yours. We always talk when we can. We're very busy. But I know there's been a lot in the press about me and Riddick, and there's stuff in magazines. There's been other stuff, right? You've read it, and
Yeah.
but the reality of it is that we was trying to get the film of his life made, and we still are in different stuff. But we can say we are getting his book together. You know,
Yes, that's right.
He wants you to help him with that. You know,
Oh,
we're going
yes.
to work on that to bring this forward, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The book of his life story, Mahtab.
Yes, of course. Yes, I mean, Riddick Bowe has run a very colourful life, and a man of great talent. I mean, he beat Evander Holyfield to win the title. At that stage, Evander was like at more or less his best, and Riddick Bowe was able to win against Evander Holyfield, which is in itself a great achievement.
Absolutely.
If you recall, when Lennox Lewis first fought Evander Holyfield, that was actually a draw, declared a draw. Many people thought that perhaps Lennox had actually won it, but the judges said it was a draw, whereas Riddick Bowe, actually won his fight against, and in fact was very successful.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, to a wonderful new segment of The Big Shift with Stephen Gillen. Make sure to subscribe, go into stephengillen.com and sign up for more wonderful content to expedite, help, and support you on your own personal journey of success.